crafters, welcome back to my channel Because I'm Crafty. My name's Caitlin and I have another DIY for you today. I'm going to show you guys how to make a brand new ironing board cover. Mine was very 90s and old looking, so I decided to make a nice fresh and clean one. It's really easy to do and I show you a few different ways how to sew it depending on what kind of machine you have. So let's get started. And let's say goodbye to these sad looking duckies. So for this DIY, you're going to need some elastic, some snips, some thread for your machine, a serger or sewing machine, and some regular cotton fabric. So as you can see, my old one here, it just had a binding sewn on the edge, and then it had a string threaded through it like a drawstring, and then it had some kind of pleating for the bottom, but we don't need to do that since we're using elastic. So I'm just laying it over top of my woven cotton fabric, and I'm just going to cut it a little bit bigger than the original. Once I have the first one cut, I'm folding it in half and doing the other side so I can make it even as possible. And I'm going to use that first one to cut a second one because I want to have it 2 layers thick. This is totally optional, you can have it 1 layer, I just wanted to have some extra thickness on my board. So since my fabric is pretty wrinkly, I'm going to iron it all out and make sure I can get as many of the creases out as possible. So now that I have both of them all ironed, I'm pinning them together and keeping my pins further away from the edge so that I can leave them in when I serge it, and I'm just trimming off the edges so that they're perfectly clean together. Then I'm taking it to the serger and I'm taking my 1/4 inch elastic, and once my needle has grip of the elastic, I am pulling it as I serge. So I'm pulling the elastic as far as it will stretch and letting the serger thread catch all of that along with the edge of my fabric at the same time. If you don't have a serger, I have some methods coming up next where I'll show you other ways to finish off the edge. And here my serger stopped working. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm having to hand wheel the last couple inches, so I'll have to get that checked out. So now I can remove all those pins that was holding my fabric together, and that's pretty much it for my ironing board. Now for another method, if you want to do the same thing but without using a serger, or you're too afraid to use it with the serger, you can just zigzag it on with a regular machine. You can serge the edge first like I have here, but again, if you don't have it, you can just zigzag the edge as is. It's not really a heavily worn item, it's on the underside, so it probably won't fray away too easily on you since it is zigzagged. But if you want a nice clean edge without seeing the zigzag on the outside and just a straight stitch maybe is what you prefer, you can straight stitch that down after so you've got a nicer clean finish on the outside. So if you want a different method, you can just sew a casing into the edge of your fabric. I'm just doing 1 fold since I have serged it, but you can do a double fold as well. And just take a safety pin and hook it on the end of your elastic and feed it through, sew it together, and then close up your hole at the end. And the other method is using a fold over elastic. This method is much easier as it's like a binding that you just sew on the edge and you can stretch it as you go. The only thing I found with this is that it doesn't have as much pullback or memory in the elastic, so once it is done being sewn on, it doesn't scrunch up as much, so I don't think it would hold as tight to the ironing board as the regular elastic would, but it's definitely an option. Now for the final reveal. Now I did make mine a little bit bigger because I do need to add some more padding to my ironing board, so it is a bit loose at the moment, but it is exactly what I needed and it's perfect. I'm so happy to have it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and comment down below and subscribe to me so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I'll see you next time, crafters. Bye!